Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys and yeah. I guess it looks like things are actually really starting to wind down this week by far for sure. I mean, yeah, I think I really do mean what I actually say hands down because for only a couple of days this week we've got hit with, of course, some smoky weather from all those Canadian wildfires that actually passed by for sure. To which to everyone in Canada watching this, I do want to give my full-on support for all of you guys. It is really tough to get through those wildfires for sure, so I do hope all of you are doing well and combating against them for sure, so yeah. But I guess all that said and done for sure, I guess pretty much for what it is, I think it is time for me to get myself in for, of course, another movie that has finally came out as we speak for sure, and I guess for the sake of this one, I think it might be one of my most anticipated ones that I've been wanting to check out since the start of this year for sure, so yeah, I guess it is that time again for sure, and yeah. Seems like we're in for a really great one this time around for, of course, this latest thoughts video for sure. And, well, I guess it has been a few years since we've tackled upon one of the films from this well-known director. So I think it makes sense to actually do it again for sure. So yeah, so I guess pretty much of anything for today's thoughts video, I think it actually makes sense to pretty much get ourselves in and talk about the latest film from pretty much someone that goes by the name of Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I think it will pretty much get you the idea on what I'm talking about for sure. So yeah, once again, looks like we're diving into a brand new film from well-known director Christopher Nolan once again for sure, and I guess it is no big surprise by far. He is, of course, one of the most talented filmmakers that we've actually been seeing in recent years for sure. And if you may recall, pretty much in the past thoughts videos that I did talk about two of his films that I actually did talk about, those being Tenet and Oppenheimer for sure, and I really enjoyed both of those hands down for sure, so yeah. But then again, my thoughts videos that I did on those two movies will definitely speak for itself. Pretty much, if you want a full-on recap on what I thought of those two in a nutshell for sure, so yeah. But luckily enough for the case of this movie by far, yeah, we are going to be talking about a brand new film from Christopher Nolan, yes, but we're also mixing in with, of course, probably, let's say, a well-known story from, of course, from ancient Greek history and mythology. Yeah, Yeah, just by combining those two all together, I think it will get you the idea, of course, why I'm actually talking about for sure. But in case you don't, I think it's time that we hop on our boat and, of course, make our way journey home for sure. Despite the fact that I already am home, pretty much after seeing this movie. Well, of course, surprisingly enough, today's movie that I actually got to see very recently for sure, which is none other than the Odyssey. So yeah, that is, of course, what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it is, in fact, pretty much Christopher Nolan's take on a well-known Greek story that goes by the name of, that goes by the same name for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, I guess before going into, of course, this movie, I think it makes sense to brush up, of course, pretty much the grand epic story, or whichever you prefer, pretty much either a grand epic story or, of course, a grand epic poem for sure from ancient Greek history for sure. So yeah, but of course, regardless of course what it's actually referred to nowadays, there's no doubt that the Odyssey is actually one of the most interesting stories being told back pretty much during the days of ancient Greece for sure. And actually, for a good reason, hands down, from what I can gather for sure. And for while I myself have never actually knew about the original Greek story pretty much back then for sure, I do know for the fact that pretty much it is actually one of the most well-known from back in the old days for sure. And let's not forget to mention, pretty much this story has been made in several different versions and several different incarnations over the years for sure. So I really do like the nice approach that they actually did with, of course, this story for sure. And I do find it to be quite an interesting one from what I can gather. So yeah. So I guess I give it to that thought alone. If I do want to see this iconic story actually be told in such a grand, epic way for sure, I definitely want to pretty much see that in, of course, a big, epic way on the big screen for sure. And, of course, since early as last year, when I heard that Christopher Nolan is actually going to be making a movie based around this iconic Greek story for sure, I actually got myself really excited for sure, because, yeah, I guess for, of course, pretty much this story that we all know and love for sure. Of course I want to see Christopher Nolan actually pretty much do his grand epic version of course, this one hands down. So yeah, so I guess as early as last year for sure, from when they started production to of course when they revealed the official first look of it, pretty much right before Jurassic World Rebirth starting for sure, to even the trailers that we actually got. I'm actually really excited to see on what they're going to do with, of course, this one. And I do want it to be pretty much be grand and epic for sure, which is exactly what I want, hands down. So yeah, so I guess it is quite obvious. I'm really excited for, of course, this movie when I actually first knew about it for sure. So yeah, and bit of a funny story actually. I was, much like with what I did previously with Tenet and Oppenheimer, I was supposed to pretty much go for an IMAX showing of course, this movie for sure. Kind of like what I did with the last two hands down, because, well, I guess it is a Christopher Nolan movie. He does like to shoot all of his movies in IMAX for sure. So yeah, that was the original plan that I wanted to go for at first. But, of course, we sadly had a bunch of setbacks from, of course, me and my family that kind of prevented me from that for sure. But however, I did mention making it just in the nick of time to see, of course, my local movie theater, Crown City Cinemas, for actually letting me do that for sure. So yeah. So that was, of course, the backup plan that I actually had for sure. So yeah, regardless of course, what happened before I went to see this one for sure, I did manage to get myself in to go and see this movie for myself. And, well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, honestly, I think from what I can gather, yeah, I guess pretty much when I said that I wanted this movie to be grand and epic for sure, that's pretty much what I actually got. So yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, I'm impressed with, of course, how this movie actually turned out for sure, and yeah, it gave me exactly what I actually wanted for sure. Basically, Christopher Nolan's take on the well-known Greek story that we all know, but make it grand and epic on the big screen, and I think it actually did resulting in a pretty fantastic movie all the way. So yeah, I guess given to all that alone, I really enjoyed this movie a whole lot for sure. I dare even say I might actually consider it to be one of the best I've actually seen this year by far. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Yeah, there we go, so. Alrighty then, well, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I think with what I've actually seen by far, I really do think the story, of course, this movie by far is actually structured out incredibly well, hands down for sure. It really laid the groundwork on how the original story is actually laid down for sure, but also mixing it up a bit and even updating it to actually really make it work well for a movie for sure. And I really do love the really nice approach that they actually did to really make this one work for sure. I follow through it very well in my opinion, and yeah, there are a few bumps from what I can gather that did kind of pretty much preventing it from being 100% perfect for sure. But I really do think they really nailed it on the head with, of course, the story and, of course, this one. And yeah, I really do follow through with it quite well from what I've actually seen by far. So yeah, I'm really impressed with how it actually turned out story-wise for sure, and I really do think, yeah, I really do think they really did a bang-up job, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie. Now, as for the writing, I had to say, that too alone also deserves a lot of recognition for sure. I really do think the writing is actually crafted out perfectly from what I've actually seen, and they really did do an impressive job to really actually giving pretty much giving off some pretty much some form of effort into the really great amount of material that they actually wanted to do to really try to make this movie work all the way. And yeah, I really do think it is actually quite nicely done from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say for the writing, of course, of this one, from what I can gather. They really nailed it on the head with, of course, what I've actually seen with such great material that I really do think actually work quite well for sure. And again, just want to update a little bit for, of course, modern day cinema for sure, while still keeping true to, of course, pretty much the original story for sure, to help keep the context all the way from what I can gather. So So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I could say for the writing for, of course, this one, hands down. So yeah, I think with, of course, what they did with the story and the writing, they really did put in a lot of hard-working effort to really try to make it work quite well. And I'm impressed with, of course, the final result that we actually got. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters, and yeah, I really do think the characters in, of course, this movie are actually really quite nicely done from what I can gather for sure, as they're given such really great development that I really do think is actually quite nicely done to really try to make them likable and interesting all the way, and I really do think it is actually quite admirable to actually see them for sure. I really do follow through, of course, each and every single one of them, and actually understand what circumstance they're in and how they're going to overcoming for sure. So yeah. And I think, I guess from what I've actually seen, I really do think they really do have that amount of charm for me to actually care for them, hands down, for sure, and of course, those kind of characters that we all know and love for sure, I can easily compare to the really great amount of characters that we actually get to know, and a really great number of pretty much Shakespeare plays for sure. So yeah, I think, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, yeah, and yes, I know it is kind of odd for me to actually mention for the fact that I'm comparing the characters from the Odyssey to characters from a Shakespeare play for sure. But that's how much I really do admire them all the way, hands down, so yeah, and of course, pretty much if you've seen the movie for yourself, you'll see what I mean, hands down, So yeah, I really do follow through on all of the characters that we actually get to know for sure, and I actually do root for a good number of them from what I've actually seen. Those are the kind of characters that I really do think really help drive a great movie to a great succession for sure, and this movie really did the job quite well, so yeah. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I guess from what I've actually seen, they really got a great amount of actors for sure. For, of course, this movie has, they're not only casting perfectly, but each and every single one of them has given off some really, really great performances all the way for sure. And I really do mean a really great amount of them for sure. Each and every single one of them are on their A game with, of course, this movie. And I really do buy their performances all the way for sure. And of course, some big, massive standouts to me, amongst plenty of others for sure. Yeah, there's tons out there for sure. But personally, to me, I think, I guess it is a toss-up between several actors that I actually do buy their performances all the way. Like, of course, Matt Damon is, of course, a great example. I really do dig his performance all the way. And, of course, several others, like, of course, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and John Leguizamo, just to name a few for sure. Each and every single one of them I've actually seen on screen. I really do buy into their performances all the way, given to the material that's actually been given to them for sure. And I'm impressed with, of course, what they actually did with, of course, this one for sure. And it is actually quite admirable from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, I guess that's what I could say for all the actors for sure. They really gave off such great performances all the way, and I really do think they did do a bang-up job on, of course, this one. So yeah, I guess with, of course, what I've actually mentioned, I really love what they did with the characters, and all the actors really are on their A game with, of course, this one for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, well. Now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, to which, I guess, obviously, next up is, of course, the production design for, of course, this movie, and yeah, I will have to say, I really do think the production design, of course, this movie is just absolutely outstanding for sure. I really do think they really did do a bang-up job in making this movie look good for sure. Not only with, of course, some really great location scouting and set pieces that they actually put together for sure. That actually makes you feel like that you are actually in ancient Greece for sure. And of course, being in that kind of environment from all the way back in the past for sure, which I really do think is actually quite nicely done for sure. It really did do a bang-up job in capturing that time period perfectly for sure. But also, not to mention the pretty much the visuals and the effects, in addition to that, are also quite nicely done from what I've actually seen as, yeah, I really do think they really did do a bang-up job with those two that I've actually mentioned, and really helps blending everything with the film's surroundings. Like, of course, whenever I see it on screen, I really do feel like they are actually really there for sure, and I really do think that it really does work well to pretty much everything that goes on throughout the course of this movie for sure, and how it actually matches the environment all the way, so yeah, I guess that's what I could say, of course, that front for sure, so yeah, I guess that's how much I really do admire the production design, of course, this movie for sure. Yeah, it is actually really quite amazing from what I can gather, and I really do think it is actually quite nicely done from what I can gather, so yeah. And of course, the action as another aspect for sure, I really do think is actually really incredible for sure, and yeah, I guess in a good number of areas where, of course, it does slow down for sure, I really do buy into those for sure, and even the dramatic moments I really do think is nicely done. But when it gets to some really great action for sure, they really went all out, of course, this one from what I can gather, and I really do think they did do a bang-up job with the action for sure to really actually make it look great, and it even is planned out perfectly from what I've actually seen for sure. Again, making you feel like that you are actually in that kind of environment as our main characters for sure, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much what I could say for the action all the way for sure, so yeah, and of course, the direction of this film from Christopher Nolan, yeah, I will have to say, he really put a lot of hard-working effort into the direction for, of course, this movie for sure, and I really do admire on the commitment he actually did to really make this one work quite well, and yeah, I really do think he really did that flawlessly all the way for sure, and I know that's saying a whole lot given to the past couple of films I've actually talked about for sure. But I really do admire him pretty much for being such a great director for sure. And definitely shows quite well in, of course, this movie all the way. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say for the direction for, of course, this one. Now, I guess for the cinematography, from what I can gather, that too alone is also quite nicely done for sure, as I really do think the cinematography in this film is just really great from what I can gather for sure, as it actually provides some really great camera shots that I really do think is actually quite nicely done for sure, and I think about how I pretty much, I did mention earlier that I wish I would have gone for an IMAX showing for all that for sure. I guess it is quite obvious that Christopher Nolan really does like to shoot a good chunk of his movies in IMAX for sure, and yeah, I guess pretty much from what I've actually seen, for a while I do think it actually does look great on a regular screen for sure, which I guess is pretty much my way of seeing this movie by the time I'm recording this for sure. I bet it actually looks absolutely outstanding in IMAX for sure, so yeah, hopefully maybe with another screening for sure, and I might actually go for the IMAX showing of course, this one. Maybe you might actually look that great for sure, and yeah, all that sort of stuff from what I can gather, and plus I really do applaud Nolan and the crew to have this movie be the very first movie to be shot entirely in IMAX for sure. That's actually pretty much hard to accomplish for sure, and I'm really glad that pretty much that they actually did it. Now, if only I wish IMAX would actually pretty much create their newest camera, where of course you can actually shoot movies in IMAX for much longer for sure, as it only took like a few minutes to actually shoot in that format. I certainly hope they will, so yeah, but I guess regardless of course that front, I really do think the cinematography in this film is really, really outstanding from what I can gather, no matter what screen you actually view this movie had for sure, so yeah, it really does help make this movie look great from what I can gather, and they really did do a bang-up job, of course, that front for sure, so yeah, and of course, pretty much the editing as another example, as another aspect that I want to get into. That too alone is also done really great for sure, as it is cut perfectly with such really great cuts that I really do think actually works quite well within the tone and the style of course, what this movie is actually going for all the way, and I really do think it is actually quite nicely done from what I've actually seen, and I do admire this movie for actually doing exactly that for sure, right? And not only that, but also mixed in with some really, really great sound mixing as well, really actually does make it all the more worth it to see it on the big screen for sure, so yeah, and plus, not to mention, it also matches well with, of course, the film's pacing all the way for sure, to which that too alone is also done really great from what I can gather for sure, and yeah, I really do think it is actually quite nicely done from what I can gather for sure, and plus, given for the fact that this movie is nearly 3 hours long for sure, it actually does take its time to actually flow everything out during the film's running time for sure, which I really do think is actually quite admirable all the way, so yeah, so I guess with all those I've actually mentioned, I think that would get you the idea on how much I really enjoyed this movie all the way, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole, so yeah, overall, the Odyssey is indeed such a grand and epic movie that really got me intrigued all the way, and even interesting for sure, that I knew right away that once it actually starts and I make it all the way to the end, I definitely wanted more of that hands down, and it really got me pretty much really impressed with, of course, with what they actually did for sure, and it did result in, of course, such a really great movie all the way, so yeah, everything that they actually did, from, of course, the brilliant story, interesting characters, great acting, amazing production design, and everything else that I could actually mention, I think it definitely makes this movie pretty much such a great time for sure, that that really does stay true to, of course, everything that goes on within the original story that it's actually based on for sure. So yeah, I guess needless to say, of course, all that for sure. That's how much I really enjoyed this movie all the way, hands down. I really do think they really put in a lot of hard-working effort to make this one work for sure, and yeah, they really did the job quite well from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much given to all that for sure. Yeah, I am really happy that I actually got to see for sure, and given to what I've actually thought of it alone, I do think it is actually well worth the recommendation. Of course, my part for sure. In fact, I dare even say that this movie is actually well worth checking out if you want to experience it for yourself. In fact, I guess pretty much from my perspective, hands out, I say this is the one movie that I do think every single history class in high schools and college for sure should definitely show to people who are wanting to learn about ancient Greek history for sure and understand its mythology in such a way. So yeah, that's how much I really do love this movie all the way for sure. And given to what I've actually said, like I said, I really do think, yeah, I really do highly recommend this one all the way for sure. It's not only a really great movie that I actually got to see, but it's also, without doubt, one of the best ones I've actually seen this year by far for sure, amongst plenty of others I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, and I guess if it is something up your alley, I say this movie is definitely worth a few hours of your time for sure. You're truly gonna get something that really is that great, and I know I did with, of course, this one, and I'm really glad that I actually did, and it is actually such a great time all the way. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie from beginning to end, and yeah, I say it's actually well worth checking out for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess this movie is deserving of it. So I'm, of course, gonna give the Odyssey an outstanding 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie with what it's actually done for sure, staying true to the original Greek poem that it's actually based on for sure, but really actually making it grand and epic on the big screen that I can actually picture in my mind pretty much if I want to see this movie for sure, and I think they really did the job quite well from what I've actually seen. That's how great it is all the way. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much what I could say, of course, that front. So if that's something up your alley, and if you're looking for something that will give you something grand and epic for sure, give this movie a watch all the way. So yeah, it's definitely well worth a few hours of your time, and whether you see in a regular movie theater or seeing an IMAX or whatever movie theater format you will actually see for sure, I say this movie is well worth hopping onto your boat and rowing your way back home to actually experience for yourself. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you guys. What do you think of the Odyssey, if you've actually seen it for yourself for sure? Do you absolutely really enjoy it? Do you think it's a really great movie all the way, and Christopher Nolan really nailed his own take on, of course, the ancient Greek story? Or do you absolutely hate it and think pretty much it's about a few hours of your time wasting for sure, and not worth checking out for sure? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just fine for what it is for sure? So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I'm quite curious to see on what you guys think for sure. So So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and yeah, now that I finally got that done for sure, I guess we only got about, like, pretty much a couple weeks until the next movie that's slated to come out for sure, so that'll give me plenty of time to spend the next week to focus on other things for sure, because let me tell you, I've got a lot going on, of course, my part for sure, so I need to make sure I get my priorities out for sure. But I can assure you that my thoughts video on Spider-Man Brand New Day will be coming up very soon, so once I do go see that one, I'll be sure to let you guys know, so yeah, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.